All right.
Hey everyone, what's going on?
So we're here to talk about the Deka World Championship coming up here shortly. I will not be there, but Luke will be, which is why we're doing this call. So, first off, what events did you qualify for / are you doing?
I did not get to do any Deca fits this year because there weren't any nearby, and I just wasn't able to travel for any of them. So I am going to be doing the Deca Mile and the Deca Strong, both in age group, which is cool. I'm excited about that. I think right now, I think I'm like number 3 and 6. I mean, I could look at the leaderboard in my age group and those two different things in strong and mile. But I think like one or two of the guys who are in my age group are also qualified for elite. So I don't know. So either way, I'm basically top 5 in both of them, something like that. It's hard to tell with the leaderboard because if somebody's qualified for elite, then obviously they're not going to be doing my age group. So that would move me up like a slot or two as far as where I am positioned right now, which really doesn't matter at all.
I thought they already filtered out all the who had chosen, who said they could go as elite or committed to going as elite, and then
It's just if you look at the leaderboard and you filter it by age group, those people are still going to show up. So there's really there's not like an easy way to find out, you know what I mean? So either way, that, like I said, that's not a big deal. That doesn't matter at all for the World Championship as long as you're in the top 12, which I am. So that's good. But it was quite a journey to I was really trying to get the elite qualification. And the last chance for that was an event here in North Carolina in Fuquay on September 17th, something like that. And I had to cut off quite a bit of time if I was going to qualify because early on in the year, I was top 10 in both, like easily. I think I was number 6 and number 8 at one point, overall on the leaderboard. But when I'm happy about this, but things have really heated up, people are putting up some crazy times every weekend for the past 3 months. It's just been going wild, which is cool because then there's actually some competition. If I was in the top 10 for the entire year, then that's kind of just boring. So I did cut off a lot of time on both my strong and mile, huge PRs for me personally, but it just wasn't enough. I was about 10 seconds short of top 12 for strong and probably 15 or 20 seconds for mile, which I mean, those seconds right there are almost a placement per second. That's how close the leaderboard is right now. So if I could cut off 10 seconds on strong, that would have moved me up 8 positions, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely heated up a lot, now that because people were not really interested, I guess, and then they realized oh, I guess I better qualify if I want to go to Worlds, and so they actually started training for it and actually started going to the events and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So obviously now the goal is to get on the podium for mile and strong, which I definitely think I can do. And the way it's set up is both events are on Sunday, and they're actually doing the strong first, which I don't know. For some reason, I thought they'd do mile first, but that's fine with me. Strong is definitely my stronger event. So, if I'm going to get on the podium, hopefully first, then I think my biggest chance is with strong. And then the mile is probably, I think, 3 or 4 hours later. So, I've been training to be ready to do a couple events in a day, which is good. I actually started doing more than one workout in a day after Camp Gladiator games because when I did that, which was, I guess it was last year, almost a year ago now. Yeah, last November, we did, I think, 6 events in one day, and they were all pretty short, but all out intensity and, 12-ish minutes long for each one.
It's a lot of events.
Yeah, and that was just something I wasn't used to. So I guess it was, basically a weakness for me. And so I've been doing many 2-a-day workouts recently, just so I'm like, my body's at least used to doing 2 events in a day. And that's also why during this season, I've been trying to do a lot of double weekends. It's not the same day, but to give 100% 2 days in a row is not easy. So anytime there's been a double weekend where I can get to it and do either 2 strongs or a mile and a strong is what it usually is, then I try and do those. So at least that way, like mentally and physically, I'm more prepared for it.
Good. Of the 2, you said the strong is your strength. Which one are you looking forward to more?
So I like the mile. I really do. I enjoy it because I don't know. I've just started enjoying it a little bit more. My running's improved a lot, and I think it's a little bit more fun because you have to change from some strength into cardio, into something else, into cardio. So it's just a little bit different, and it's a little bit longer. Like I've gotten so my strategy that I follow is the same one that Ryan Corning does, and he has the fastest time in the world right now for Deka Strong. So I watched his video, I did the breakdown, and for the majority of the stations, I'm faster than him in a lot of the events I do. But then on the air bike, he's 27 seconds, which is significantly faster than most people.
Yeah.
And then he hammers the sled, he hammers the ball, he hammers the burpees. So the last 4 stations, he just like absolutely obliterates. And so I've tried that strategy on my last few events, and it has worked very well. I cut off 16 seconds on my strong, which is very significant. And that's by doing exactly that. So, on the first 6 stations, I stay pretty comfortable. And that might mean losing like 2 seconds on the rower. So instead of rowing at a 140, I'm rowing at like a 142, which is actually a huge difference. And then, so basically, instead of going as fast as you can on every single one, you're just leaving a little bit in the tank so that when you get to the air bike, you can just that's when you go all out. That's when you go all out. The fastest I've done the air bike now is either 42 or 48 seconds. I can't remember which one. Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
In event, the fastest I've done is either 42 or 48. I think I did 42. It's one of those 2. I can't remember. But that was at a mile.
Training just to see how fast you can do it just as one event?
I haven't. Because I don't really have access to a assault bike right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so when I train, it's on a Airdyne, which I usually do 35 calories instead of 25 because it counts calories like insanely fast. And I think 35 isn't even enough to equal 25 on an assault bike. Either way, it's about the same, so yeah, so then you get off the air bike after giving it like all out intensity. At the mile I did, when I last did the mile, I cut off a good 20 seconds for my PR. That was by far the fastest I've ever done the air bike. And my watts was at like 1200 for, like 15 or 20 seconds. I remember looking down at it like, oh man, I don't, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But then, yeah, so I held it at like as high as I could for 15, 20 seconds and then cut it down to about 600, which I know I can maintain for a little bit. And then the last 5 or so seconds, I just kind of coasted and took a couple deep breaths and went right into the run. And I actually didn't feel as bad as I thought. Obviously, I was much slower compared to my other runs, but it was manageable. And yeah, so after that, you do your run or you go straight into the ball depending on the event. But if it's a strong and you go into the ball like that, I've practiced with dumbbell snatches and stuff like that. So I've learned to be able to breathe through that. Like, even though you're going up and down, which doesn't really help, and you're throwing a 60-pound weight over your shoulder, you know, I've practiced it enough to where I can breathe, not necessarily lower my heart rate or really catch my breath, but I can maintain a good pace through it. Then you get to the sled, and that's when you can take some deep breaths and, you know, maybe lower your heart rate a little bit. And then after the sled, you know, it's just all out on the burpees. So, but I mean, if you do the math, like the last 4 stations, that's probably 1, 2, 3, 5-ish minutes. So as long as you can make it through 5 minutes of dying, then you should be okay.
You'll be okay after dying.
Yeah.
So which one are you more excited to do? The mile or the strong? Or are you looking forward to more?
I don't know. Both of them, kind of. Wouldn't say I'm necessarily looking forward to one over the other. It just depends on who I'm competing with. I'd imagine both of them are probably similar people.
Are these head to head?
Yes.
How many at a time?
All of them.
Oh.
All 12, yeah.
And 12 of everything? Oh, that's good for them.
Yeah, I know.
Good, but I'm just saying.
I would imagine, I could be wrong about this, but I would imagine they're going to do the mile like they do a fit. You know, you run, you go into the corral, first come, first serve. And then, yeah, that type of situation. And then for the strong, I guess everybody's going to have their own thing just in a line.
That'd be awesome.
That would make sense.
That would be wild.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like,
I am sad that I'm not going to be there for it.
I'm going to put blinders on each side of my eyes so that I don't look at anybody, because, you know, well, and that's something I've actually gotten to practice too, because at certain events, people are like, oh, Luke's fast, let's pair him with somebody else who's fast, which is usually Tay or somebody like that. And Tay likes to come out real hot. And twice I was like, oh, I'm not going to let this guy get in front of me. And so by the time the box was over, I'm like, okay, that was too fast. And then sure enough, my sled time is awful. My air bike time is awful. And it's usually like a terrible time. And
at a world championship, I think I would take the blinders off and just kill myself trying.
Yeah, but that doesn't, like,
at least on the last few. I mean, it's going to happen no matter what, because you're going to hear people yelling the names of the people who are in the lead towards the end, especially, and they're going to,
but like, no. Here's exactly what's going to happen, and I've experienced it myself, and I've watched so many people. I've done, I'll keep talking, but I'll try and look this up at the same time, how many events I've done. But yeah, here's what's going to happen. People are going to come out super hot because you got the adrenaline going. And you see everybody else and you're like, oh, this guy's in front of me, I better go faster. All those things. And then they're going to burn out so fast and they're going to crash hard. And I might be behind a little bit, but then when it gets to the air bike and everything else, that's when I'm going to pass everybody. I bet you anything. If I stick to my strategy, I will probably pass 5 or 6 people on the air bike right there. And then they will not pass me again. And I'll probably make up a couple places on the following 3 stations. So let's see. I have done.
I mean, it's just like obstacle course racing, where if you come out too fast and you burn up, which so many people do, you just get eaten up the rest of the race by everyone who didn't kill themselves in the first mile. This is a little different, though, because you're working with seconds, not hours.
Yeah. I've done a total of 20 strongs.
Jeez. I think I've only done like 10 strong and miles total so far.
Yeah, and 9 miles. And like, I do each one intentionally trying to find the best way to shave off time, try different methods. Like, if you look at my times, because I write them all down, they're kind of all over the place because each time I'm trying different strategies and experimenting a little bit so that I can find what works best. And that's what I've done in the past couple events is I found consistently what works for me. Doesn't mean it works for everybody else because everybody else has their own strengths, you know, like the new guy on the who's making waves, Rylan, or whatever. He's just crushing everything. Like I didn't know his name until he set the Deka mile record, and then he sets the Deka fit world record, and he also and he also won the Spartan North American Championship, and now all of a sudden he's just winning everything. And I mean, I don't think he does that much strength training. You know, maybe he does. I don't really know much about him, but he's just got such a powerful engine. I'm sure he has like strong
legs. Big. Compared to a lot. Anyway, I don't know about for hybrid. He's like the right size because I listened to a podcast with him, just one because I was curious, like what his background was and everything. And I think he said he weighed like he was guessing, but I think he said like 175 or something. So he's not like small.
Yeah, I don't know how tall he is, but
I don't remember. Whatever. Yeah. Are you going to see the Deka Fit Championship on Saturday, or are you just going to be there for the two events on Sunday?
Just kind of depends. I would like to see the Fit, but that's 2 hours away from where we're staying, which is our parents' house. Yeah, I looked and it's 2 hours away. So we'll have our baby then, and it'd be nice to stay at the house. But I also don't want to drive I don't know. We'll see. I would really like to see the Fit in person with all the top people in the world. Like that would be so cool.
Yeah, it would.
But we'll see.
It's like a mini High Rocks.
It is. That's what Deka is.
Exactly what it is. Lighter weight, shorter distances, shorter times.
Yep.
Well, good competition either way.
Yeah. So I've also switched up my training a little bit recently, partly because it's just what I enjoy and partly because I'm curious to see how it benefits me on the air bike and the sled. But I've done a good amount more strength training recently. Still the same amount of cardio and still the same amount of circuit training, but I've just added in a couple more strength training sessions each week. And I've been focusing a lot more on like leg specific stuff, stability stuff, and also heavier squats. Like I've been doing 5x5s for squats, which I've been able to progress a little bit with that. So hopefully that can translate well into the air bike and the sled.
Theoretically, hopefully.
Because I mean, that's the biggest, again, after doing my breakdowns, those are the biggest areas for improvement. There's a solid 20 or 30 seconds I can cut off the sled. There's a solid 15-ish more seconds I can cut off the air bike, maybe even more than that. So that's a huge amount right there.
Shoot, what was I going to ask? Do you know any of the people currently like in the 12 personally? Do you know any of them that you're going to be competing with for either event?
Let's find out. We'll pull up the leaderboard and look at my age group, which again, not really guaranteed at all if these are the people who are going to be there, but
right. But just on the stats so far, or the whatever you want to call it.
Let's see. Let's see. Well, Nick Riker is, I don't think he qualified in the top. Well, actually, I can look.
No, he is in the elite, I believe.
I don't think he is.
I saw him post something about it the other day.
Yeah, but he's number 14
for
on the leaderboard for strong. And then for mile,
in elite or age group?
Overall.
Huh.
And then for mile, he is
one of them.
For number 7, he's 17. So for fit, he's number 5. So he's definitely in for fit, but for strong and mile, he shouldn't. I will be pissed off if he is there because Yancey told me that because I accidentally was given the roll down email and I tried signing up and there's this whole thing and they took my money and I didn't get a sign up space. I got the refund, so it's not like a big deal. But I messaged Yancey about it and he was like, all 12 of the Deka Strong Elite signed up. And if Nick Riker is 14th, that means he's not in it.
Well,
so
I don't
if he's doing strong, that means he's in my age group.
Okay. Well, he might be, but
yeah. And then there's Preston Burnett. Never met him, but I know he is in good shape. Dylan Scott.
Oh yeah.
Which we were at the same event the other day where he did his first strong and I did the other one and I got a good PR, so I was able to beat him. So I don't know if he's doing it. I know he's going to do fit for sure, and he's one of the top 12 for mile. I know that. Matthew Carroll, I'm pretty sure that's Rose's son, I think. So yeah, that'd be cool. Cole Swartz, I don't know if he's doing it, but I know he's done a lot of different things.
Yeah, I've heard his name in a lot of good places.
Yeah, he was at the Go Rock Games and
oh yeah, that's right.
He's done very well at stadions, I believe, stuff like that. So I don't recognize any of the other names for strong. Let's see about mile. Yeah, a lot of the same names for mile as well. So that's what I mean. I'll probably see a lot of the same people in my heat, which will be cool.
That's cool. Let's see what else. All right, so you're just doing the 2. What are you going to do? Do you have any plans on what you're going to do in between them, since there's like a 3-hour gap and you need to be just as ready for the second one as you were for the first?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with some things that I know my body handles pretty well. I'll probably have 1 or 2 vitamin waters because there's sugar and electrolytes and all that stuff in there, and it's hydrating. And then probably like honey stinger bars and like granola bars, nothing heavy, but probably a good 500 to 750 calories, something like that, spread out over the time, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, something like that, but not like I'm not going to have a meal or anything like that because I don't know how well that would
Double cheeseburger.
Right. It's one, I could do that if I'm here at home and doing 2 workouts, but when you're going around talking to people and you've got all this adrenaline and stuff like that and nerves, then it's probably better to just stick with bars and stuff that I know my body's going to handle pretty well. And coffee. Definitely have some coffee.
In the interest of not letting this get too long, how many athletes are how many trio athletes are going?
3. We have 3 trio athletes who have qualified to compete. Not just doing open, but qualified to compete in multiple. I can't remember exactly what everybody's doing, but I think there's a fit.
Aren't all 3 age group qualify or yeah, all 3 are age group.
I think qualified. One person, yes, all 3 are age group qualified.
Do you know if they're all doing age group?
I believe so. Yes.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting too. Like, it has been so cool. I've had my own journey in this whole process, but to see other people's journeys, like one person specifically, well, I mean, it's interesting to see the different dynamics. Like, you've got one of our clients who's more of a strength person who has to focus more on building a cardio engine. And then we have somebody who's more of a runner who needs to focus more on the strength aspect. And so it's just been really cool to see that. And like, everybody's got their different struggles, talking about they hate the weakness. If you're a runner, you're going to hate doing the strength stuff because you suck at it. But then once you do an event, you're like, wow, I was able to do the farmer's carry without setting the weight down, or I was able to do the sled much faster, and then it's worth it.
Yep.
So it's been very cool, and it's going to be really awesome to watch them go. And that's going to be fun too, to actually be able to stand like right next to these people at the World Championship and yell at them the whole time.
Hurry up!
Yeah.
You're running out of time. Will we have someone there to live stream it? Your event, at least.
I mean, we will not have an official live streamer, but I will definitely try and get somebody to live stream it.
Okay. Well, hopefully, because I want to see it. What
Yeah.
dates?
Well, I mean, I'm sure OCR Report is going to have live coverage.
Yeah.
And they do a fantastic job. They have.
But are they going to get the age group? And it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because they're all at different times.
Okay.
Nothing's going on at the same time.
Oh, that's good. Well, maybe they'll have it too then in case we don't for whatever reason. I just can't get there for this one. Very unfortunate because I would have competed and we could have filmed them both and all. Next year. Hopefully, maybe. Any final thoughts?
Nothing right now. There's one. Well, actually, there are several events. And here's the good news. So Yancey just said that there's going to be event near the Mid-Atlantic because Rose has been doing an awesome job getting gyms in the area to put on strong and mile events. So spreading the word about Deka. She's been spreading the word about Deka to try and get an actual Deka Fit event here. And now there will be one. It hasn't been announced, but it sounds like there's a venue picked. It just hasn't been announced yet. But Yancey said that there will be one. So that is
there better be. We've met dozens and dozens of people who do it in this area. And this is a massive population area. I don't know why there wouldn't be one, but hopefully that comes because I do want to do a fit, and there's no way, it's not my focus, so there's no way I'm traveling to Chicago or Texas or wherever else to do one. So if it comes close to here, I will definitely do it if I can.
Yep. And there's a couple events between now and the World Championship. There's one I might do on November 5th. We'll see. It's actually a road show, 5th and 6th, I think, if that's the weekend. I don't know. But I'm assuming that Nelson's going to be down there putting on 2 events that weekend. So hopefully I can do those just to do like a test run, see where I'm at, see if what I'm doing is working. If it's not, I'm screwed. If it is, then that's good.
I was thinking about that November 5th one, but I just signed up for the 10 miler, so I'm not doing it. Oh, well. There's another one right next to that, or like on the 4th, or I don't know.
There are a lot of them coming up. So
I want to get to at least one more, but maybe 2 more this year. All right, cool. I think that covers everything. If you are aspiring to improve your Deka times in any of the Dekas, the regular, the mile, or the strong, we train for that. We program training for that for clients. They've done very well on our programming. We've done very well on our programming. So triofitnesstraining.com.
Yes, we like I was talking about earlier, if you're a runner, we focus on your weaknesses while also building off of your strengths. And if you happen to live near us, we'll probably be at the same event, and then that's really cool too, to be able to do some in-person coaching and encouragement that way too. So
absolutely, I think that's the best part of the Dekas, because OCR is so spread out. We rarely get to see our OCR clients at events and things, but the Deka, there's so many small events going on. We get to see them frequently, many times a year at many events. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun for sure.
All right, cool. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll have a YouTube video next month around this time of Luke's Deka events at the World Championship.
I'll be wearing all my bling.
What bling?
From winning whatever medal they give me.
I was just imagining like a gold chain while you're doing burpees.
It's going to be made of pure gold, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. They wouldn't give prize money, but they'll have a 24 karat gold necklace.
For sure.
All right, cool. See you later, people.
Bye.